So this is for period pain or cramps, one and the same. And as I've been aging, have been getting really awful cramps. And so last night I was just sitting in front of the fireplace, figuring out some stretches that felt good. So this will be yin yoga. You would want probably a blanket and a block for this. So that also could be a nice size beach towel block, maybe even a bolster where you can just wrap a blanket in a towel, and that could make a firm bolster for you. Okay, so the first pose that we'll get into is called butterfly. So we'll sit on our bum. I know I have pretty tight hips, so I'm going to elevate my hips a little bit so that I can walk my sits bones back. That'll help get my knees a little bit closer to the floor. And then you can have your feet far enough forward so that your head can come to a block. Some of you might be able to do something like this. It's okay to let the background when we're doing yin. We're looking for more of an opening in the lower body here. Okay, I think I'm gonna need a couple blocks. And then head comes down. You'll just adjust this as you need. And then you can let your elbows rest on your knees. I feel like my pelvis needs to tilt forward more, so I'm going to keep scooting my sits bones back until that feels right. Soles of feet come together, knees wide, forehead down. So first pose to settle into. You can close your eyes. I would just say if that feels like you will get too distracted if you close your eyes, like you're not sure where to go in your head, you can just keep a soft gaze off the tip of the nose, focus on something on your mat. Or you can close the eyes and just focus on your breath. So whichever option seems to you like you would have more focus in the pose and less distraction. Okay, I'll stop talking. Sits bones are really heavy. And then so is your upper body. You're just letting it fold. Upper body is being supported by the lower body. You can just let gravity win. As you're able to open up, the longer we stay, you could take your hands by your hips, keep sliding your sits bones back, or maybe adjust the level of the block so your head can come lower. See if you can let the knees come closer to the mat. See if you're holding on any tension from the crown of the head all the way through the toes. Where can you soften? Deep inhale, breath. Exhale out your mouth. And slowly lift your head up. And then we're going to make our way down to our back. You might decide you want blocks under your knees as we come down to the back. And then with the blanket, you can just bring it up here to the top of your mat. If you have the 3 blocks, or even actually if you have 2 blocks, just grab those. Put one under each knee. Whatever height, soles of feet together, so same pose, but this time we're just coming down to our back. And then just for a little grounding here, you can take the blanket. I'm not going to cover my chest because I have a microphone here, but if you want, you could take this and do something like that. Just to feel more grounding. Okay, once you're there, you could also have an eye pillow. You can roll the sits bones forward a little bit. Knees wide, soles of feet together. The closer your heels come to your groins, the deeper the opening. Back of the neck is long. Shoulder blades can shimmy toward each other to open the heart. Arms out to the side, palms face up. If you want even more grounding, you could take one hand to the belly or both, or one hand to your heart. Relax your jaw. And then I just noticed that I was kind of clenching on my glutes and tensing my low back. So just notice if you're doing that anywhere, especially if you're in any kind of, having period cramps right now. You could just be in pain and discomfort, but see if you can let the muscles relax versus tense up. If you feel you can have more of an opening, you can adjust the blocks or remove them if you have the knees propped up. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. Hands outside of knees, bring them together. Take them into your chest. You can take some circles in each direction. Good. Grab behind the thighs, rock and roll up. Next pose we'll come to is child's pose. So you can take, if you like, a blanket across your calves. Knees go wide, big toes touch. And then walk your hands forward. And if your forehead doesn't come all the way down, grab a block and rest your forehead down. If your hips are up here, that's okay. You could have a bolster back here or pillows or another blanket. And then once you're there, maybe take your forehead side to side a little bit. Reach your arms forward, let your elbows rest down and settle in. Palms face down, fingertips are soft on your mat. You can also bend the elbows and cross the forearms over each other if that feels nice. Knees wide, toes are pointed, big toes touch. You can let your mouth softly fall open. Just make sure you're not clenching your teeth. And let your belly hang. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release. Good. Slowly bring yourself back up to a seat. And then we will take the legs to a straddle, so I'll face you. And then you'll bring a block to the inside of the left leg. And you'll just rest your left elbow on the block and rest your hand, or rest your head in your hand so it feels just supported. And then this right hand can either reach up overhead, and you can interlace the fingers behind the head and then just let the right elbow hang. We're looking for a nice side stretch here. You can move the block out further if you have more space, or maybe you don't even need the block at all. And we'll just be on this one for about 10 rounds of breath. You can also take this right hand like a horseshoe shape, and take your thumb inside where you feel like the top of the femur bone and anchor it down. This is going to give you more of a side stretch on the right side. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Come back up and switch sides. So choose the height of the block. Take your right elbow down, rest your head in your hand. This is like my super tight side right now. So I'm just going to keep my left hand here, or you could take the thumb, keep anchoring the top of the thigh down. The other option was to take the hand overhead, interlace the fingers. You can just let the elbows close. And let the feet just flop. They don't have to be active. Low back hugs in and lifts up. Just a few more rounds of breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Slowly come back up. Bend the knees. Bring the feet together, or feet down, and then just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Okay, so for our final resting pose, I'm going to set up with legs up the wall. If a wall is handy for you and you can just kind of maintain this yoga buzz, you'll simply turn around or wherever you're at. Bring the side of your hips toward the wall and then let the legs come up. Now to make this more grounding, you can take your block and just set it on the soles of your feet. If you'd rather take Shavasana or some other final resting pose, go for it. Arms can be out to the sides. You can have a little bend in the knees. And don't worry about the block too much, even if it falls, you can just let it fall. Otherwise, it's just there to ground you, essentially. Forehead relaxes. Space between the eyebrows. Relax your jaw. And let your shoulders be heavy and fall down away from your ears. Belly rises and falls without any kind of breath work. You're just letting the body be breathed. Hips heavy, pelvis heavy. If you're in Shavasana, legs, you just let them be wide and the feet fall out to either side. You stay here as long as you can. I hope you're able to find a little relief maybe in the practice. Maybe it was just helpful for you to relax and have some quiet time. Take good care. Namaste.